And we are live, I think. I don't know. I am doing brand new equipment. As you can see, if you've ever been in a live chat before, I still have some tweaks to kinks to work out. Is that it? Kinks to work out. But this is my new setup. So this is where I normally do my videos. There is a crazy amount of things happening behind the scenes to make this look like it looks. My entire room is filled with wires. I don't really know what I'm doing, but can you hear me? That's important. How's the voice? Let's see. Can I do... So part of this is I want to be able to click on comments while still looking at the screen. So let's see if that works. Boom. Awesome. Rachel, second place in the chat. You're first place in my book. Wrong mic. You can hear me. Correct. The mic is not the same. So who said that? Bill? Yeah, not the same as the video. That's correct. So a little behind the scenes. So if any of you are familiar with video equipment. So the reason that I had to go on my computer for my previous live streams is because my video camera is like just a really nice camera that you would take like pictures with, but it has HDMI capability on it. But there's a lot of problems with getting that to work on my normal setup. First, my computer desk, which is not movable, is up against the wall. And so having the camera behind that is impossible. And having a tripod behind it, that's not going to happen. And so also, I have to figure out how to get my camera to work not on a battery. So I had to buy, and to get HDMI, which this is not. I will upgrade it soon. That's why you see this logo right here. It's because I have not paid for the paid version. Eventually I will, after I get this all figured out. But you have to buy this like thing that converts the camera into your computer, and then also a fake battery. So you plug this fake battery into your camera, and then it tricks your camera into thinking it's a battery. Then you can plug it into your wall, so it just runs off regular, whatever. And so I've got all that going, but with the dummy battery, because I plug my microphone, my nice Rode microphone, directly into my camera, because I don't like to sync up audio, it messes up the audio on that. So I have to use my other desktop microphone, which is not nice. So eventually I might just get a nice USB microphone, but here we go. Think it looks pretty good for my first try. What do we got here? Oh, it sounds great. Oh, also I have this like little like, what is it? Like a laptop tray that like extends out underneath the camera, so I can put my laptop, and then another one right here where I can put my mic and my wireless mouse. So got a lot going to make this happen. Tom, what's up, Tom? Tom's got an awesome booktube channel. Check it out. How you doing? So does Nev. Good to see you, Nev. Shad, good to see you, man. Kindles and Kicks. What's up, man? The brand new YouTube channel. You want to get in on the ground floor on a pretty sweet YouTube channel, check out Kindles and Kicks. Also, the best production out of a brand new YouTube channel that I've ever seen. Like, looks crystal clear. He's killing it. Ashley, hey, Matt. Started Of Blood and Fire. Literally the most just okay book I've ever read. Really hope everything you're right about book 2. Yeah, it's just all right, the first book. It's so tropey. For everybody that's not aware, what Ashley's talking about is The Bound and the Broken by Ryan Cahill. And yeah, the first book's not great. I gave it a 4 stars because I liked it, but it did not blow me away. And I probably would not have continued the series had people told me that it gets better, but it does. A lot better. Bell, just use OBS to stream free. Yeah, the problem is I'm not familiar. So everything, I'm not like a really techie guy. It looks like I am, but I'm not. I've had to figure out everything on my own from scratch. OBS, I've had to learn that recently, but I'm not familiar with how to get these comments to show up on OBS. I'd have to like do some research into that. Is that doable? Can I do that? Because that would upscale my video if I was able to use OBS. Somebody teach me the ways, because I don't know them. Sir Misery. So this is a downside. I'm just finding out that the computer's kind of far away from the screen, so I have to read this kind of tiny script, but my eyes are good. So in about 20 or 30 years, when my eyes start to degrade, or less, 10 maybe? Oh, this won't work. But we got a good 10 years. Thanks for breaking up my Wednesday evening. Nice to see you. Thanks. It's very rare for me to go, very rare, like never happened before, where I go on stream at this time of the night. Normally, I wait until my family goes to sleep, and then I'll throw it on. But I'm really excited about all this new equipment. So I said, you're on your own tonight, sweetie. You're on the kids for an hour or so. Well, I talked to some people. Tom, I'm good. Glad my Steelers made the playoffs. Yeah, you should be happy about that. Although, you're probably going to get knocked out in the first round. No offense. No TJ Watt. Not looking good for you guys. Who do you play in the first round? I should know this. Is it, let me guess, is it the Bills? I think you play the Bills. That'd be a problem. Kindles and Kicks, thank you. Of course, man. Alex, The Bound of the Broken is amazing. That's correct. I am such a big fan right now, and I'm kind of sad that I'm almost caught up. But once I catch up, I'm going to have, one of the big reasons I want to do this, no offense to any of you, but I really want to have authors on here, and I want to be able to like talk to them and not be embarrassed about my streaming setup. And so I would love to have Ryan Cahill on and chat with him about his amazing series. You've read Dandelion Dynasty, right? I'm wondering which supposedly super good series I should read next. To Ryan Cahill, Dandelion Dynasty, I own both already. All right, so Dandelion Dynasty is second or third favorite series that I've ever read behind Malazan. I'm kind of right about tied with the First Law. I go back and forth between this, but they're very different. So I'm going to say 2A and 2B. It depends on what you're looking for. Are you looking for something a little bit more deep and with kind of bigger themes and very character rich, then go Dandelion Dynasty. If you're looking for something that's more classic, Wheel of Time, old school kind of fantasy, then go Bound of the Broken. Avoid Room is redonkulous. Yeah. And I love that you use that word. Since I've had kids, I have to stop using curse words, which I used all the time. And I still use all the time outside of this YouTube channel and my kids. So I say a lot of things like redonkulous around the house. I'd say A Blood and Fire was actively bad, bordering on blatant plagiarism. Originally planning to try book 2 soon. I mean, I don't know about plagiarism. I mean, what's it plagiarizing exactly? It's using a little bit of this and a little bit of that in a lot of things. But if you think that's plagiarism, then I feel like Wheel of Time would also be in your book, right? I don't know that is. Slay with a nice golden comment. Thanks, man. That's so nice of you. You don't have to do that. I'll read your comment anyways, but I do appreciate it. That's so nice of you. Hey, Matt, I hope you're doing well. I am. Excited to hear your thoughts on Baker's The Warrior Prophet. Absolutely flawless book. Overall phenomenal series. Yeah. So I thought that the first, The Prince of Nothing, I think I said was my second favorite book that I read last year, just out of every book, out of the 110 that I read. So I am super hyped. I am a little nervous, though, because I didn't take notes while I was reading it. And I should have. And now that I have a new, so I got rid of the Kindle. Well, I have it, but I don't read it anymore. I now do a Kobo. And it's got like the stylus pen, and you can draw on the pages and on the maps. And so I'm taking tons of like notes in like a notepad that I save for each series. So then I can like write down the important characters and what they're up to. So that when I get to the next book in a series, I'm totally caught up. But I didn't do that for this one, but I will do it now. But yeah, I'm nervous, but I know it's going to be amazing. It'll just take me a little while to get kind of like caught up to speed. I'm going to have to do a lot of like Wikipedia searching on it. Oscar, good night, Matt. Good night. Yeah, it is nighttime, I guess. What are your feelings about the upcoming Best Served Cold adaptation? I haven't read the book yet, but love the First Law trilogy. You should read it. It's really good. I'm excited. I don't watch a lot of movies outside of like Disney movies because I have kids and it's how it be at this time of my life. But I will for sure make a date night out of going to check this one out, assuming it ever comes out. So many movies get caught up in production, and I mean, if Mistborn has had troubles getting out, I imagine this one could run into similar problems. But I'm really excited about it. They just got to get the casting right. And can you guys hear the traffic outside my house? I live on a not very big street, but I opened up the window because I'm kind of hot because I have these two big cameras or these two big lights shining down on me. And so you can hear cars. In my opinion, being a techie guy is based on your ability to research and solve most problems yourself rather than a measure of how much you already know. I guess that's fair. I mean, everybody has to learn somewhere, right? So okay, then I'll qualify it. I was not a techie guy when I started this channel. I am turning into a more techie guy. Hey, Matt, big fan. I absolutely love your honest, no bull videos. Also, I have $33 credit from Amazon. Should I get Will of the Many, Jade Legacy, or Ruin, Wrath, or The Darkness and Light? Oh, man, that's tough. Not to like get too down in the weeds, but it kind of depends on how much you liked those books, because you're doing a lot of like second book in a series here. Jade Legacy is the last in the series. Ruin and Wrath are the last 2 in a 4-book series, and Darkness and Light is the second book in the series. So which of those series did you like the most? I would say skip Will of the Many for now, even though it's amazing. But it's probably not on sale because it's newer. And go for one of the series you've already read and which one you like most. Arid Adventure, another BookTube champion. Hey, Matt, how you doing? Probably can't stay long. No worries, man. Good to see you. Open source community is amazing. I need to check it. Bills, yep. I'm really late on my comments. I'll try to fly through these. I'm very disappointed that the Colts missed out in the playoffs. Yeah, although they're not ready yet. They need another rebuilding there. How is the new puppy doing? Amazing and horrible at the same time. I love the puppy, but I can't take him outside yet because he hasn't got all of his parvo shots. Well, he has got the parvo shots. I have to wait until next week I can start taking him on walks. And that will make my life so much better because he is just a ball of energy because he can't do anything. And there's only so much you can do around the house. So that's rough. Also, the potty training is not going as planned. Like, he's not going potty in the house, but that's because I just simply won't let him go. And so he's not allowed to be unsupervised on the ground. So he has to walk around with a leash with me all the time. If I'm sitting down, he goes and sits next to me, but I can't leave him on the ground. Otherwise he'll just go to the bathroom. He goes outside well when I make him go, but he also goes inside really well. So I'm trying like the reward thing. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. We are 1 in 10 without TJ. So yeah, dude, it's I know that feeling. Plagiarism is a bit strong. Just that Kyle did nothing new, really. But that was his first book ever. Yeah, nothing new. But that definitely is not the case in the next books. Hey, Matt, Raisin Lover here. Okay. I thought for some reason it was like Rainwild's Lover, and I was like, that's a weird take. I tried A Blood and Fire by Mr. Kyle, and I felt that the writing was okay-ish. I'm hesitant to continue. Does the writing better? I don't know that it does. I mean, there were moments in the second book where I went like, wow, this doesn't feel like the same author, because he goes deeper and he has some more like philosophical outlooks on things. Nothing like horribly unique, but much better than the first one. The second book overall, in every conceivable way, is better than the first one. Except for the English, not my first language. No, you're doing great, man. Breeze, he really shows as a writer as soon as book 2. Yeah. Hey, Matt, gun to your head, engineer, captain. I look at them very similarly, Dumb. I mean, there's a gun to my head. I don't have a lot of time. I got to pick one. I'm going to say the captain by like 0.1%. I'm going to release my review soon. It's taking a little while because I have these, I had an advertisement company reach out to me and throw me a lot more money than I'm used to run advertisements on my channel. So I'm going to be doing these like minute-long advertisements in the middle of my next few videos. 4 videos. I got a 4 video deal, and they have to approve them all, and that's taking a little bit of time. So the video's done. I'm just waiting for it to get approved. I think the engineer one is like a random thing. It's like they're the most random companies, but it's like Southern Michigan's sports management program or something crazy. So I had some fun with them, though. I try to make them a little bit interesting. But yeah, the captain was just a little faster paced, which I liked in a carefree series. Got to spend more time with the characters that I liked the most. I felt like the writing was better in the second one. I feel like the second's like a better book, but I liked the first one a tad bit more, if that makes sense. Foreign Room was my favorite read of 2023, and so awesome. It would have been my favorite read of 2023 if I read it in 2023. Well, no, I take that back. It would have been my best new release Is that of War and Ruin? Am I mixing it up? Yeah, it would have been my favorite book that got published in 2023 by a large margin. That Bree's writing definitely improves. All right, good. I'm not the only one. Bunami, you're the only person I've heard of with that opinion, and then there were none. Look forward to that review. Yeah, I mean, I can. So what Bunami's talking about is I gave it 2 stars to, and then there were none. And then there were none. Like one of the most famous books of all time, at least in America, but probably worldwide. And it's like a really old school, wrote in the 30s, I think, maybe the 40s, by the 30s. In like a mystery story, like the first big mystery novel. Did not like it. I have a lot of problems with it. I'll go into details in my review, but I have a lot of thoughts about about that book and what my problem was. I just feel like it didn't deliver on the promise, and maybe I'm like used to modern day mystery stories that feel like the reveal is earned, and it did not feel earned. And it was simultaneously so obvious what was going to happen because it's so set up, and unexpectedly ridiculous in what ends up happening. So very strange. Oh, nice. Made it in time. Just got back from Barnes & Noble. Gods of the Weirwood. Nice choice. R.J. Barker deserves all of the praise. And the next book is going to come out this year. So I'm excited about that. He's kind of busting them out. Baker's the one thing I just have no interest in reading. Everything I hear makes it sound like misery porn. Yeah. It is. I like it. All right, what else we got here? Just finished Morningstar. What were your thoughts about it? I don't think I had a channel when I did Morningstar. I love Morningstar. But Morningstar was my favorite Red Rising book, assuming you're talking about the Red Rising Morningstar. Yeah, it was great. I thought the ending was wonderful and really just a perfect ending to a story. And that's what I'm looking for in a trilogy. Ultimately, it kind of soured me on the next book, though, because I felt like I didn't feel like the story needed to keep going. It felt like it ended in such a great place. But yeah, really liked it. Awesome stuff. I can't do Grimdark. Don't do any of Baker's stuff. You got my copy from Barnes & Noble too? Nice. Yeah, I love going to Barnes & Noble. I never buy anything because I'm cheap and I get all my books on online and like libraries, but I love just walking around, looking at stuff. I look at the fantasy books and I go, oh, I wish I could buy that. I wish I didn't have the diligence I have on not buying things. It is how it is. Kingdoms of Death was dark but not grim. Message of hope. Yeah, I mean, a lot of books that people think are grimdark are not, because they do have that hope thing in them, which is kind of my definition of grimdark, is like there's a distinct lack of hope. And yeah, I would say that at least what I've read of Sun Eater so far, it doesn't, you always feel like there's going to be, especially because the framing narrative kind of already tells you the ending of the story beforehand. Baker has the best recaps before the start of each sequel. You'll be fine. Oh, he just rocketed up my favorite authors list. I truly don't understand. It makes me like, I'm a very happy person. I have a lot to be happy about in my life. But it always angers me irrationally when authors don't put the recaps at the start of their story. Like, why? What's the reason that you don't put the recaps in? Were you lazy? That's odd. You just wrote a book, fantasy book, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pages. So it can't be that, right? Did you not think people would like them? That's odd. Clearly people love them. Did you not want to waste 5 pages of extra paper? Like, does it cost more money on your end? And you're making a cost benefit analysis? Trim up 5 pages of your book. Why would you not do it? I mean, your goal is, calm down. Your goal as a writer is to make people read your books, right? Like, make stories that people find enjoyable. And a good way to make people not like your stories is to have them lost and dump out of the series and not pay you more money, because they're not going to read the future books in your series when they dump out. It seems like such a no-brainer to fill people in. And it should be so easy, right? You just wrote the book. It should take you like 10 minutes to write a little recap. You already know these characters. Can't be hard. All right. I'm fine. I used a Kindle sample to read Prince of Nothing, book 1 recently, and the first 50 or so pages felt kind of jarring. Did it take a bit to adapt to the pacing? It did. This sounds like, this is not a good sell, I'll tell you. But when I read The Prince of Nothing, I had my Kindle out on a table. I had dual monitors behind it. In one monitor, I had the map of the world, and on the other monitor, I had the wiki page up where I'd constantly just look up characters and read like the first line and remind myself of who they are, and then go on deep dives. I'm trying to be like, oh, what's this religion? How is it associated with everything else? And trying to avoid spoilers. So there was a moment though that I finally became at peace with everything, and it all just started clicking. And that's when I fell in love with it. Hey, Matt, I tried to get this conversation started in the Discord, but would love to hear your take on a rubric for your star reviews. Would love tips on how not to rate everything a 5. Okay. Thanks for being on the Discord. If you're not on the Discord, everybody, what are you doing? You should join. But I think, are you looking for tips for your rubric or mine? I'm going too slow on these comments where I'm probably never going to hear what you had to say. But I will say my rubric is a very simple one. And it's 5 stars, love. 4 stars, like. 3 stars, 2 stars, did not like. 1 star, hated. It feels very, it feels like that's the right kind of rubric for me, because I hear these people are like, oh yeah, a 2-star means you liked it. A 5 shouldn't really be possible. And it's like, it kind of reminds me of like IGN's ratings, but the opposite of it, where like everything is like 70% or above. And that's just not the case. Like a decent game is like an 80. And that's ludicrous to me. For some reason, I couldn't get into Jade City. I heard it gets better, though. I don't know. It kind of feels similar. I feel like if you don't like Jade City, you're not going to like the rest of it. And what book on your TBR are you most excited to read? Love your TBR contest. Best thing on BookTube. Thanks, man. What book am I most excited to read? Let me pull up my handy-dandy reading spreadsheet and look. I would say... What am I looking forward to the most? Probably the next Prince of Nothing book. I take that back. I'm going to be reading Gardens of the Moon soon. It's the first book in Malazan, my favorite series. I've only read the series once, and I cannot wait to start reading it again and getting a better appreciation. It's got to be the greatest reread of all time. And you know that when you're reading it the first time. So I cannot wait to read Gardens of the Moon. Dan, another booktuber, was this close to getting tickets to the Lions-Rams games. My wife was even okay with it. I guess I'll save that money with the kids. Would rather be selfish, though. Bro, I hear you on that. Because I go to 49ers games sometimes, I got like advanced ticket offer for the 49ers game, whoever they play. And I was like, I got to get these tickets. I grew up watching the 49ers with my dad. We've watched every single game since I was a little kid together, with very few exceptions if one of us were like sick or out of town or something. It's after my family, watching the 49ers is my favorite thing in the world. And watching football in general. I love football. It's my heart and soul above books. If I had to give up books or I had to give up watching the NFL, I'm really sorry, books. I love you. But I looked up tickets, and to get not great seats, it was like $800 to $1,000. No, it was like $1,200 a ticket. I can't do it. You can use OBS, which is FOSS, in my opinion. If you know what you're doing tech-wise, OBS plus Steam Elements is better than Steam Labs OBS. I have no idea what you said, but let's talk on Discord. Ashley, in regards to The Witcher, I feel the games were so good, they inspired people to buy the books, only to find out that the games were the superior way to experience Geralt. The books just aren't good. Couldn't agree with you more. Could not agree with you more. The games are a perfect way to adapt that story. Like, there's so many fantasy stories that you could turn into a video game that are better fantasy stories. But The Witcher is inarguably the best to turn into a game because it's all these little episodes of a dude killing people and making moral decisions. It's perfect. Yeah, my dog was on a leash for the first month after I got her. It worked, but man, it was tough going. A month. I'm going on over 2 now. But yeah, I hear you. Have you read Anxious People? No, never heard of either of that book or the author. Matt, thank you for recommending World of Malazan in the 11th cycle. I got you. Just noticed the Discworld books behind Matt. I'm currently reading Sorcery. Terry Pratchett is having a major effect on me, and it's magical. Yeah, my Discworld collection starts up here where you can't see. It goes all the way down here, then goes to right about there. Love Discworld. It's a decent take. Thanks. I think you're talking about the engineer take. I'm way behind. All right, super hard question. I like it. But I like how, unlike most bigger booktubers, you will give an actual opinion and do rankings. Thanks. My superpower and my biggest weakness is that I have OCD, and I channel it. I have to channel it into something, otherwise it has really negative aspects of my life. And so I've learned to find something and just direct all of my OCD energy into that task, and BookTube is that task. And so it makes me kind of like have to do ranking stuff. And so I was doing that before I had a channel. And so now it's easy for me to just bust it out because I keep all that data kind of behind the scenes. That being said, did you love the Greenbone saga? I did. Faithful and the Fallen or Bound and the Broken? More. Okay. So I'm going to say I liked Faithful and the Fallen more than Greenbone, but I love Greenbone. These are or Bound and the Broken. As a whole series, I think Faithful and the Fallen, because it's done, and I read it, and I gave them all 5 stars. But I like books 2 and 3 of Bound and the Broken more than anything that I read in Faithful and the Fallen. So by the end of, let's talk again at the end of Bound and the Broken, and we'll find out my take. Who won in a fight? Bridgerunners from Lasmer or Bridge4 from Stormlight? Early on, the Bridgeburners would absolutely destroy Bridge4. Once a major event takes place with Bridge4, they would wreck shop on the Bridgeburners. The ending to And Then There Were None was kind of disappointing to me. I love the atmosphere of the book, though. I think that's a fair take. Just started Assassin's Apprentice, excited for the journey. Yeah, you're in for it, man. Or ma'am. It's one of my favorites. Seriously, do you guys hear the cars? Is that just me? I just want to say I hated Blood Meridian. It was the first book I have ever read. I get a lot of flack for this opinion. No flack from me. If you don't like And Then There Was None, what mystery books would you recommend? I don't really read mystery books. I've read mystery books before I had a BookTube channel, and I just can't think of them right now. I can't think of them right now. I mean, in the fantasy realm, would we consider oh my God, how am I forgetting this? I think it's by Anthony Swan, Empire of the Wolf. What's the first book called? Is that a mystery? Richard Swan, Empire of the Wolf? What's the first book called? I'm jealous of all these people that have all the books behind them because I could just like look behind me and figure out what it is. At least ATTWN popularized the island murder trope. Oh, And Then There Were None, which gave me some amazing series to read. Yeah, that's probably fair. Kathy, I'm a huge 11 Cycle fan. I'm so happily it clicked with you. Yeah, Doan is big 11 Cycle fan. Me and Doan read it about the same time. We both felt very similarly. Did you finish Oathbringer? Is it just me, or is it the weakest of the bunch? Thank you. It is just you and me, and I think there might be dozens of us that feel like that, but it was the weakest for me. I like Rhythm of the War more, and most people think Rhythm of the War is the weakest, and I think a lot of people think Oathbringer is the best. It had the wildest ending, but it was too wild to me. Bell, Doan has the best definition of Grimdark I've ever heard. What's his definition? Did I miss it? Kindles Kicks? Yeah. I'm so happy that John Gwen had a summary before Hunger of the Gods. Yeah, dude. John Gwen knows what's up. I want to start Dungeon Crawl Carl. I'm not usually a big audiobook fan, but I heard they were really good for the series. Are the audiobooks that much better of an experience? Yes. Unequivocally, yes. They are definitely. Having said that, I have not read the books, but I know what they'd be. That it's just the audiobook in written form. But the audiobooks definitely amplify the experience significantly. Grimdark traditionally means that the book has Nietzsche-style existentialist themes and motion. That's the most dumb comment I've ever read. I didn't understand half those words. All right, bro? You guys are smarter than me. Everybody knows what this means. World of suffering, and that it lacks any overall purpose or meaning. Yeah. However, he thought that our ability to deal with this suffering, to endure hardships and overcome them, is an important value exercise of our power and character. Okay, fair point. I like it. 5 stars aren't granular enough. Can you honestly say that you liked every book you gave a 4 the same? No, That's why at the same time that I gave a book a 5-star, behind the scenes, I'm going in my spreadsheet and I'm ranking all the books that I read that year. So as soon as I finish a book, I have my list and I'm like, this is the list. Where I start, is it better than this, better than this, better than this? No, there you are. There you go. And so 5 stars is a huge, spectrum. 4 is big, 3 is big, 1 is big. None of them are the same. There'd have to be, 1,000 different ratings for me to be able to rate them to that level. But that's just me. I like the 10 scale with 10 scale, like 10.4, 4.2, 4.3. Yeah. Hey, Matt, I would like to start the Stormlight archive in time for the 5th book's release, but I am on book 2 of Wheel of Time. Can you read 2 big series at the same time? Can I take a big break from Wheel of Time? I mean, I can. I read lots of big series at the same time, in part because I like to break them up, but in part because I'm caught up on a lot of them, and the next book's not out yet. It's just a personal preference thing, though. I mean, when I was first getting into fantasy, I liked the power through thing. And, if I didn't have a booktube channel, I might still do the power thing. I think viewers would find it rather boring if I just did 10 books in the same series in a row. Some people would like it. Most people would hate it. But it's certainly possible. But if I were you, I would take a break from Wheel of Time and go read Stormlight. Oh, sorry, Mike. The way you broke down Nietzsche for people is so good. Great. What's up, Tom? I just finished Guards of the Moon last night. I was surprised by how much I enjoyed it. Yeah, if you like Guards of the Moon, you're going to love the series. It's the worst book in the bunch. Wait, that's not The Doors of Midnight by R. Verdi that you're most excited for. I need you for that when it releases. Bro. I can't handle this. I can't handle this author. Petrick did like the release of the cover today or yesterday, and I wanted to make a snarky comment, but I wanted to be kind because Petrick's too nice to say anything rude about it. Just finished Malaz in December. Hell of a ride. Hell of a ride. Just finished Guards of the Moon last week. Wow, everybody's finished Guards of the Moon. So stoked for Deadhouse Gates. Like Gardens a lot more than I was expecting. Get ready. Strap in. Strap in for Deadhouse Gates. Jim Carl audiobooks are indeed that special and make the experience more immersive. Very true. I'm going to skip a couple comments here when people are just talking to each other. No, never heard of it. Have you read The Sword of Truth? No. Although people are trying to get me to read it. I think they want me to not have a good time. People talking to each other. That's cool. By the way, thank you so much for what you do on BookTube, on YouTube and Discord, especially how genuine your content is. Thanks, man. Appreciate you, your kind words. What series would you recommend to somebody who has A Song of Ice and Fire as their favorite series? I've always thought that they're different, but the people that like A Song of Ice and Fire generally also like Faithful and the Fallen. It's that multi-POV thing in a bigger epic scope. If you finished Of War and Ruin last year, where would you have put it in your end of your rankings? Number 1. When this year are you starting a reread of Malazan? Okay. What I will say is I'm supposed to start it in where? April. But that's not going to happen because life gets in the way, and like something will come up. New books will come out that I got to put on. I'll read a new book. And my new thing is like somebody will put a book on the Patreon wheel, and I'll end up loving it. And it's a series, and now I got to read the next one. And so April, May. Love how in your Bound to the Broken reviews, you almost hinting that you like the series even more than Stormlight. Yeah. I don't know if that's true. They're different. They're different. I wish I had something bigger to say there. I don't. But you definitely posed an interesting comment there. Touchstone Quest is 10 times worse than Crossroads of Twilight. I'd die on this hill. I mean, I don't know about 10 times worse. It's worse. But I also didn't really hate Crossroads of Twilight. I heard a lot of good things about CJ Box. Justice of Kings, that's the one. And Blood Rain is the worst book. Not the worst book. Is worst book. Not First book. Yeah, I know what you meant. That's definitely epic fantasy mystery. Yeah. I need to catch up. I'm never going to be able to do it. Let's try to catch up. Tom with a brilliant take. Thank you, Bo. Readers of the King of the Wild, loved it. I love your review of it all. Dude, it's so good. It's just a fun book. Do you like to read fantasy books that are part of a trilogy as they come out? I like them as they come out. I like to get caught up in the hype. Even though I try not to get hyped up about them, I like to be able to talk about them with people, and more people talk about them when they're coming out. I think your video is lagging behind the audio a tiny bit. Not sure if there's anything to do about it. I don't know how to fix that. I'll have to tweak it around. Have you read the Red? No. Okay. Moonbot, good on my side. There we go. Moonbot coming through. Sorry how illiterate some of my questions were. Were you a fan of Empire the Vampire? I was. I loved it. I'm very excited about Empire the Damned. I got Empire the Damned. It's one of the few books I can actually show off. Let me. Empire the Damned. Got it. The publisher sent it to me, which is cool. Publishers are weird. They all act differently. When I want a book, I reach out to them, and most of the time they're like, "Yeah, sounds good. We'll send you a copy." But who is this? St. Martin's Press. They're part of something else, right? What is St. Martin's Press? I don't know. But whoever St. Martin's Press is associated with, they have this thing where you fill out like a media request form, which is fine, but then they just send it to you, and they don't tell you they're sending it, and they send it like a month before it comes out, and you can't plan around it. And for most people, that's probably fine. But for me, where I really have to plan out my reads, it kills me. But I got it, and now it's in the reading lineup. What authors always give good recaps? I don't know any authors that always do it. John Gwen does it now. When are you starting Warrior Prophet? I am starting Warrior Prophet in April. Just being Dust of Dreams. Have to disagree about Guardians of the Moon being the worst. You're right. I found Dust of Dreams to be the worst, but Guardians of the Moon second. Reaper's Gale. Oh my God. I love Reaper's Gale. What do you recommend for a Malazan hangover once I finish The Crippled God? Read more Malazan. Read ENCS months. Hope you're having an awesome time to start the new year, Mike. Thanks, Rochelle. What would you recommend? I'm just playing around. What would you recommend for self-published authors to get publicity for their books? I'm currently writing a dark fantasy series planned as a trilogy with a novella prequel. I don't know. I mean, I'm big into marketing. I don't have like a marketing background, but politics and campaigns, and so that's a type of marketing. And I don't know how you make it as a self-published author. It seems so hard. I mean, I don't know. That's a really tough question. It seems like there's so many options out there. I don't know how you possibly break out. And it feels like luck. I don't know. Seems like a rare take that people like Oathbringer best. I like the slow burn and the ridiculous ending. I hear a lot of people say it. Are you going to release an updated version of your top 100 books soon? Yes, I am tentatively planning on doing something like that in February. I don't think I'm going to do an hour-long video for each 10. I don't really know the format yet. People really liked that. It is a lot of effort and a lot of recording time. Part of my thing in this channel is I like to fly through the process of making a video. It's a large reason that I decided to make I will only do it in one take kind of format. Well, in part, I feel like I can do it, so why not? It's a niche that I feel like isn't really being filled by a ton of people. Some people do it, like Brandley Derby does it. Some other people do it, but not a ton. But in part because I don't really want to spend a lot of time doing it. What I value out of the BookTube thing is I get to talk to you all, and I get to have a back and forth with you, and I get to now I have people that I can talk about the books that I read with, and that's what I like about it the most. And so I don't like to edit. I don't like to take too long recording. I try to do everything as minimal as possible. So some of the videos, it looks like I put a lot of effort into it, but I really didn't. I've just kind of learned how to get it done fast. So doing 10 hours of recordings for that, I don't know if I'm going to do it, but I will do something. I'm going to redo it. All right. Do you think the Wheel of Time and Stormlight can be scary? Do you find the villains in the world ominous, or are they just kind of childish? Kind of childish. And I don't mean that in a bad way. They don't scare me. I read up to Memories of Ice and didn't enjoy much. Should I continue? No. If you didn't like the second book, you won't like the rest of it. If you liked the second book and you liked the second book more than the first, but didn't love it, then keep reading. Because the third book is thought of by a lot of people as one of, if not the best in the series. But yeah. Matt, do you have a book recommendation for somebody who's just gotten back into reading and trying various genres to find what they like? A beginner book with deep themes. Deep themes. That threw me off. I don't know. Beginning book and deep themes feel like they don't go together. I mean, the thing I always tell people is the book I recommend to everybody if they're trying to get into fantasy or back into fantasy is go read Stormlight, because everyone likes it. I mean, not everybody, but I did a survey on the channel recently, but it had hundreds and hundreds of people commenting in, and 98% of people at least liked Stormlight, but it doesn't really have deep themes. I guess there's some themes, but they're not crazy deep. Would you group magical realism with fantasy? Do you think that stories taking place in real life, but with fantastical abstract elements impeding on reality count? Yeah, it counts. I don't like it as much because it takes me a little bit out of the story, but I definitely think it counts. But it sometimes does. It is kind of a snobby term, but sometimes snobby terms are the best terms to explain what you mean. I have not. Do you have any recommendation for somebody who's a big fan of McClellan's Powder Mage? First Law feels like the better version of Powder Mage, and I like Powder Mage, but I love First Law. Yoggi is fine for me. Awesome. Tom, I think it's the last fantasy book that made me cry, and that's been years ago now. What did Tom say? Tom. Oathbringer made you cry? Yeah, I mean, all the Stormlight Archive books have made me tear up. It's rare for me to tear up in books, but Stormlight has that awesome mix of caring about characters and wanting them to succeed and these big moments happening, and it just kind of works. Hot take. Slow books should be read slowly. It's the only way I can make it through a Hob book. It's a take. I don't think it's a hot take. I think a lot of people feel that way. I think they're Orbit. I think you're right. Orbit. Get it together, Orbit. Just out of curiosity, Matt, do you know how many books you've read in your lifetime or an approximate? I do not. I do not know that. I do know that since I started reading fantasy books again, I've read 332. But lifetime, no idea. Doesn't Ryan Cahill do it? I don't know what you're talking about. Any planned content for Wind and Truth? I know you enjoy getting caught up in the hype, but do you theorize, speculate about what could happen? I'm not big into that kind of thing. I very intentionally don't try to speculate on things. I like to be surprised. And I don't want to guess. I'd rather just have something hit me out of left field. So the only content I will do is my review, and I will get the review done ASAP. What else? No plans at the moment. What is my dream author interview? Steven Erikson. Just a little intimidated. I know he'd accept it if I reached out to him. Part of that was I wanted to get my setup right. I now have that. But I'm a little intimidated because he's my favorite author. And I don't know how I want to do it. Should I do a big interview? Should I invite some friends on that also like him? Should I interview him, after I finish Gardens of the Moon and then interview after books? That'd be the most fun for me, but from the viewer, you probably wouldn't like it as much. So, but yeah, Erikson. What else do we got here? How old are you, and are you Italian? No, close. I'm Greek. Greek heritage. Well, mostly half Greek. My yaya was from Greece, which is Greek for grandma, and my papu were from Greece. But yeah, but the Greeks and Italians look very similar. Interview Erikson. I'm on it. Should I continue to read Blood and Fire if I didn't enjoy the Fall novella? Yeah. The Fall is not super enjoyable unless you know what it's in reference to. I liked the Fall a lot. Now that I've caught up with the series mostly. I can't wait to read The Fall again because it means a lot more now. Since you love Lonesome Dump so much, you should read Shogun. I'm going to read Shogun sometime in the relatively near future. I have a bookshelf tour. It hasn't changed much because I haven't bought books since then. Look it up. I do not have any suggestions. I wish I did, but your criticisms are brutal. Some authors might get wounded and deeply hurt by your overly harsh criticism. Would you have criticized your parents' kids' efforts in a similar manner? No. No, I'm really supportive of my kids, but they're also kids, and they're mine. And I want to keep their morale up. And I try to only be really brutal on authors that I feel like can take it. Not so much from a morale standpoint, but from a sales standpoint. Like I'm not going to go tear apart some indie author that isn't wildly successful. I mean, Will White's an indie author. Will White doesn't give a single S about what I have to say because he is killing it. But I don't mind tearing into Brandon Sanderson if I have to. He also does not care, you know? So I try to be thoughtful in when and how I'm harsh on certain books. Currently reading Age of Madness. Nice. Just about to finish A Trouble with Peace. Am I wrong to say it's better than the first law? You're not. I felt that way the first time I read it. I don't know if I'll feel that way the second time. I'm currently almost done with reading the Heroes. I'm reading a First Law book every month or month and a half, so I can't wait to get to Age of Madness. I loved it. I'll never forget your 1-star opinions of The Lost Metal. I almost think that video gave your channel a big boost in subscribers and views. I don't know if it did, actually. I for a while, I had negative views on it. Or negative, not views. I had negative subscribers. I want to go and see my subscriber count on that video now if I can find it. So, Lost Metal. I'm looking behind the scenes now in my... Okay, so that video got me... Let's look at the analytics. If I was better at this, I'd pop it on the screen. Oh, it did. It got me 115 subscribers and $66. So thanks, Anderson. Maybe we're a beginner book as in nothing with ideas too implicit or difficulties to desire. Yeah, if that's the case, then Stormlight. You aren't caught up with Sun Eater or Blind and Broken yet. What series would you say you loved more? Bound and the Broken a little bit. Just a little bit. Interview him for 34 minutes, then do live chat questions and comments. That'd be cool. Do you like soccer? I do. So I coach soccer. I coach an indoor. Right now I'm coaching indoor girls under-8 soccer. I just did outdoor under-8 soccer. We're undefeated, all in outdoor, and so far all of indoor, although that's probably going to change this weekend because we play the best team. But I also watch a lot of soccer. I watch English Premiership. And my favorite team is Chelsea. And I've gone to London a couple times to go see them play. But I don't watch the MLS. I am kind of bitter towards the MLS because I live in the Sacramento area in California. And we were supposed to get an MLS team. And we have the most multicultural community in, I think, the world. And love soccer. The whole community loves soccer. And when we didn't get a team, it just kind of soured me a little bit towards the MLS. But if we got a team, I'd be all in. I'd be going to all the games. I actually thought The Fall was poorly written, but I'm still checking out the series someday. I think The Fall is meant to be read with the other books. I'm almost caught up. Wanting into progression fantasy, lit RPG, Cradle, Wandering In, or Dungeon Crawler Carl. Go Cradle first. It's the most popular. Wandering In is the best, in my opinion, out of that group. It takes longer to get into it. Cradle kind of hits the ground running a little bit more accessible. I have not. Do you ever finish reading Harry Potter with your daughter? No, I'm not happy about it. So Andy's mentioning I was trying to get my daughter into reading. She is not loving reading as much as she should. She's a little, she's still catching up to the rest of her class. So I'm like, let's read Harry Potter. I'll read it to you. We'll read it at night. But it's hard to get into Harry Potter for a little girl that reads slow with me. We were, only doing a few pages a night, because there's no women in it at the beginning. It's not until you get to Hogwarts that you get any actually good women characters, and I just needed her to get there. So we watched the first movie to get her into it. She really liked that, and I said we're not going to watch the second movie until we read the first book. And so that got her more interested in reading it. And she wants to do a review on my channel of one of her books she's read, but I said no, not until we read Harry Potter, because we're going to do the review together. So, but I mean, so I'm really trying to spark her interest in reading, because she was a little bit slow on getting into reading. So she had to go read these like reading packets that were dreadfully boring, like these 4-page little stories that just sucked and sapped her interest in reading. But she had to get through them. Now that she's done, now she likes reading, because now she can read whatever she wants. And so to help it out, I went and took her to Barnes & Noble. I let her buy whatever she wanted. So she's got these chapter books that are appropriate for her age. And I let her read whenever she wants. She can stay up all night and read if she wants. She's not able, but she gets to stay up late. Read all you want, girl. I'm here for it. So I'm not going to push her into Harry Potter yet, because I really want to just get her more hooked on the reading thing. All right. What else here? I'm going to go for another 10 minutes or so, and then I got to go eat dinner. I've heard it said on another channel, Reads with Rachel, that reviews are for readers, not authors. I think we come here for readers' as honest opinions. Yeah, I think that's true. I have a fantasy comic book series recently published by Marcosia that I'd love to send over to you to have a read. Would I be able to link? I hate to be rude, but I don't read books that people send me. I just don't. It opens up Pandora's box. Is that the right word? And then everyone's going to be trying to get me to read their stuff. I just have a hard no. I will not read the stuff that you send me. But if people send me a book, I show it off in my monthly recap video to help them out. Matt, would you read the sequel to The First Binding if one of the winners picked it? I have to. I have to, if that happens, but not unwillingly. Not willingly, only unwillingly. Considering review books immediately after finishing them, have you ever reviewed a book and after some time has passed had some different thoughts about it? Yeah, I have. Absolutely. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Nothing drastic. Usually I dislike it more over time, not like it more. So some books I love and it stays that way. Some books I love and it decreases a little over time, but never really. It was okay. And now I can't stop thinking about it. I'm Argentinian, so I watch Chelsea for Enzo. Nice. Nice to see some love for soccer in the U.S. Thanks, man. You can have our MLS team, but you have to take David Tepper too. Why is Will and Betty so good? I don't know. I was so hyped for that book until I saw how lukewarm Mike's reviews was. And he's usually lying. His review took wins out of my sales. Oh, I thought you meant like, that's so good. Why is it so good? How is it so good? Why is it so good? It just hits all the right notes. It's a nice kind of mystery story wrapped up in a nice fantasy. It's got a really fun school setting that doesn't feel too childish. It's just got all these little moving parts that work really well. I love the Roman themes to it. I would say, in regards to Mike and in regards to me, watch our channels for enjoyment, but don't like take what we say as gospel. If we like a book, you might hate it. If we hate a book, you might love it. Maybe I'll give you a little tip on something, but I wouldn't change your opinion on how excited you are for something because me or anybody else said something about it. On average, how many pages do you read a day? Right now, my average, because I'm weird like that, is 163 for this year. It's about average. Weird fact, I played football in middle school and high school, but never cared to watch it on TV. Huge baseball fan, though. Dodger fan for better or for worse. Go. You're out. Giants, baby. I hate the Dodgers. I'm not allowed to say hate in my house. My wife's a marriage and family therapist, and so there's certain things that we're not allowed to say in front of the kids. We don't hate anything, But I hate the Dodgers. Hate them. Percy Jackson for your daughter. Not yet. I tried to watch the show a little bit. She got a little scared. Try Narnia. I did try Narnia. a while ago. The writing is so archaic, though. It's hard for a kid. What I had to do when I was reading Narnia is I kept having to change words to a word that she understood. My kid's first school book, so boring. How do I make them interesting and interested in reading? Get them into something else. You just find what they're. I mean, for my daughter, they have a lot of books at school, so she knew the books that she liked already. But there's the tried and true stuff that everybody likes. Diary of the Wimpy Kid. My daughter's reading like Owl Diaries and Unicorn Diaries. Anything with diaries in it, she's all about. Favorite classics? I don't really like classics very much. Book that changed your life, and in what way? I'd say the whole Malazan series has made me a much more compassionate person and more thoughtful in the way I go about my life and treating people with respect. It's a big manga. I want to say thank you for not jumping on the BookTube manga bandwagon. Hey, it's an interesting take. I appreciate it. Maybe Nancy Drew is a good one. That could be good. Tell us more about A Blood and Fire versus Darkness and Light. Darkness and Light is just a more epic story. I mean, the problem with A Blood and Fire, besides the fact that it didn't really do anything new, it was just a lot of slow setup, is that it follows this one character, pretty much just this character. And what I wanted was an epic multi-POV story. And what I got in Darkness and Light is that Wheel of Time feeling, where characters are just branching off now. We're telling a lot of different stories. It'll all come together and break apart and do that epic thing. The first book was not very epic. The second one is the definition of epic. What do you do for work besides YouTube, of course? I am a chief of staff for a politician. And I run campaigns for people. Hey, Matt, about to start Sun Eater. Watch your review about it. How do you compare it to books like Dune or maybe other fantasy series? I mean, other people could answer that better than me. But I think it's far better than Dune and other kind of sci fantasy stories. It definitely takes inspiration from those, but it just exceeds it in every way, in terms from an execution standpoint. Books of Andrew Hodges and Burnett might suit your daughter. I remember them being my earliest favorites in terms of reading. Yeah, nice. Have you read Pillars of the Earth? No, but I will be reading it very soon. I'm supposed to be reading Pillars of the Earth, starting it. I'm supposed to start it at the end of this month and then finish it middle of next month. It's going to take a long time to read that one. How old is she? She's 7. My entire childhood was filled with Goosebumps. Oh, I read a lot of Goosebumps. My daughter's 8. She loves Amari and the Night Brothers. Okay. Yeah. She's into it now, though. She likes what she's reading. I just got to keep it going. Top 3 characters from Bound and Broken. Okay. Dane, my boy. I really like Rist and his story. I love Kaylin's sister. Sorry. Got my Trailer Park Boys alarm going off. It tells me I should end this thing. I will end it soon. I'm going to catch up and then I'll end. Number 3, Asen. It's pretty awesome. You can read so many pages per day. It takes me a little over an hour to read 40. Yeah, I mean, I'm not that much faster. I just read a lot. Read an hour when I wake up. I read in the car. I listen to audiobooks. At lunch, I read. At night, I read for an hour. When I play video games at night, I listen to audiobooks usually. So that's how. I don't watch TV. Matt, will there be a buddy read each month? Yes, there's a buddy read each month. It's all in the Discord. Check it out there. We vote on what book we're going to read. We do it all on Discord, but every month we do one. Yeah. Hey, Matt, what ebook reader do you use? And I use the Kobo Ellipsa, the new one, and I love it. Love it. But if you're getting first into ebooks, just get a Kindle. Get a Paperwhite. I hate the Giants. Yeah, I know. But Dan, did you guys have an amazing lineup when you had Madison McGarner and that? Yeah, I mean, it was a great lineup. Just a lucky team, and I'd rather be lucky than good. Favorite character Malazan, and why is it Quick Ben? It's not Quick Ben. It's probably Bug, because he's awesome in every way. All right, I need to go through these fast because I need to finish. Your reviewers have reduced recently. They have because I've got a sponsorship deal going on, and I have to get all my videos approved through the sponsor. And then in the middle of that, my tripod broke. Thank God it broke when my camera wasn't on it. So I had to wait for that to come in. I've had a lot of things going on that have prevented me from doing them. We're playing catch up right now, but they're all coming out. Darks in the Light. I need to finish this. Okay, I hated Dallin until book 3. Now, yeah, Dallin's tops. Anybody else? Should I continue Malazan? I read the first 2 books and I guess I enjoyed them but did not love them. No, don't. I thought as well. Ella is my least favorite. I like Ella a lot. Okay. That's it. I'm done. I got to go eat dinner. And I got to get my kids to bed. Thank you, everybody. I have homework to do with the kids, too. I have a lot of things to do. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. I'm going to try to time this right because I always mess it up. But thank you all for watching this, and happy reading to